filing a multi-million-dollar defamation suit against Adam Schiff, CNN, The Daily Beast, and Politico. He says they falsely accused him of peddling Russian disinformation, and his business and reputation were ruined as a result. Greg, you know, that kind of sounds like the four horsemen of the apocalypse there to me. I think they, for all intents and purposes, maybe rigged the election by covering the story up. But this is interesting. He says Twitter initially labeled him a hacker. And so that's how they ruined his reputation.
He was treated like everybody else who runs headfirst into the contrived narratives of the media and social media, the tech titans. They either treat you as a very bad person, whether you're the Covington kid or Kavanaugh or a border agent on horseback, or you're a crackpot, or you're a schemer, or you're somehow involved in some kind of Russian disinformation plan. I think we're entering a phase where journalists have to ask themselves, if their definition of speaking truth to power has been defined down to everyone but power, you know what I mean? It's like everyone outside their own liberal bubble is fair game. And then when we find out that they were wrong, it's too late. They won the election after they pulled the Hunter Biden thing. But this guy probably has a case, I would think.
Yeah.
And Dana, it's not just the four that he mentioned, and he's not the only person that's really been taken to task here over this. When you talk about the New York Post was banned from Twitter. But we have someone, a show tunes extraordinaire, who may become the czar of what is or isn't true. And she tweeted about this, and now she's trying to explain that away to keep this job.
But one thing I do want to point out is that Roe v. Wade, that's the Supreme Court decision, has rocked everyone. But there's another court case working its way up through the system called Times v. Sullivan, and there's a real challenge to it. In Times v. Sullivan, I'm not the lawyer, but then they will correct me. But basically, it says it's protected publishing for a long time because if you write about somebody in the public, you have to, if you have a complaint, then you have to prove that the publisher had actual malice. Well, these lawsuits are working its way through the system. Sarah Palin has one, and I know that the publishers are actually very concerned that this could be overturned. And so something like this would be a much easier thing for him to sue on. The disinformation czar to be, although she wants to be, so she basically went back to the tweets that she did about the laptop.
Yeah.
And she's trying to explain them to everybody. Well, she says, oh, well, I was actually just quoting the candidates themselves, and I don't want to do that. If you're explaining you're losing, let me explain something. You are not going to have this job. The Department of Government Disinformation is not going to exist. And I think it would be better for Secretary Mayorkas and the Chief of Staff at the White House to cut this problem loose. She seems like a decent person, like let her go and find another thing to do. But you are not going to be the czar of the Ministry of Truth. It's just not going to happen.
She should do a Broadway show about this. I'd go buy a ticket and watch her. Geraldo, you've been known to have, I don't know, passion and fiery debate, some opinions. Do you think that this repairman has a case? And do you at least, can you concede that he was, obviously his life was ruined over this?
Oh, I have no doubt. And I also believe this is the most glaring example of a media cover-up ever.
Yeah.
And that it did have the most profound impact in terms of swaying the presidential election. And what the laptop revealed was the most embarrassing, kind of misfeasance by a first family ever. I don't know what you do about it now. I think the lawsuit is a stretch. I also think it'd be extremely expensive for this man to pursue it. What he needs is like a billionaire rabbi. Like what was the website? The Gawker got put out of business by a lawsuit. That's what he needs. He needs someone with a lot of money to back him in these lawsuits.
Well, Judge, I mean, you might have the most expertise on this. Does he have standing, I guess would be the word?
Oh, yeah, he has standing. He's the one who was defamed. He's the one who can show actual damage. He's the one who will win the lawsuit.
He legally obtained possession of the laptop, so it was his possession at that point.
That's not, look, they can argue all they want. Here's the thing. It was brought to him.
Yeah.
It was given to him. He's got his signature. And what I love is that, this Schiff, who lied to all of us and lied in front of Congress and said he had absolute proof beyond a reasonable doubt that there was Russia collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. Schiff said, not in the well of Congress, but he said on CNN that this was a Kremlin-backed smear by this man. That is defamation per se, as far as I'm concerned. And the Daily Beast said he stole the laptop. That is defamation per se, accusing him of a crime. And you've got all of them. And if anything tells us that you can recover, he will recoup. He's got the damages to prove it. And this gentleman who's bringing the lawsuit, the laptop repairman, he's going to be on Tucker Carlson tonight. So if you want to assess his credibility, watch Tucker tonight.
It was Kremlin-backed, but it was Kremlin-backed in the way that all the things that were true on there were happening because Hunter Biden was hanging out with the Kremlin, I guess.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say that, Joey. Take it back right now. You don't want to be part of that lawsuit.
No, I don't. I don't. All right.